Hey there, this is Andrew Lee speaking, and I'm going to give you a few tips on taking the SAT in this short video. So I graduated from Brent International School, Manila, class of 2018, and I've completed the IB diploma program in my high school junior and senior years. Since then, I've attended Stanford University in California, and I'm studying math and computational science, which is a Stanford unique major combining math, CS, and statistics. I prepared for and took the SAT to apply to colleges, so I've been in your shoes a few years ago. Before we take off, I'd like to make a few disclaimers. First, some of what I say, especially towards the end of the video, particularly applying to selective colleges like the Ivy League, or in fact any school that has the acceptance rate of less than 20%. Still, those applying to less selective colleges can benefit from this advice to become a more compelling candidate. Also, if you're a rising senior, so you're applying to the class of 2025, your school's admission committee is likely going to be more lenient with test scores. So the weight of the SAT may be lower than the general impression you get from this video, or in fact, any admissions blog or resources online. So here are a few facts about the SATs. The score ranges from 400 to 1600, and there are two parts: evidence-based reading and writing plus math. Also, there's an optional essay which a few colleges require for the admission, and depending on whether you take the essay or not, the whole test is going to take either 3 hours or 3 hours 50 minutes. Let's dig into what each of these sections entail. For the reading, you can expect 5 passages, one of which is literature, and 2 passages in social science and natural sciences. And for the reading, you have 10 to 11 questions per passage, and you have to solve 52 questions total in 65 minutes. For writing, you have 4 passages with 11 questions for each passage, and you have 35 minutes to solve 44 questions. Both tests have some overlap in the skills they test, because you have to be a proficient reader to perform well. The questions in reading tend to focus on your comprehension as well as your ability to read between the lines and decipher the author's intentions, whereas writing focuses on more of the technical sides of the passages, such as word choice, grammar, and organization. Math is one of those tests which resemble your high school math tests. The coverage is up to your 10th grade math, and you can only use calculator for a few of the questions. For the essay, you're supposed to write a commentary about the text you read, and you have to demonstrate your comprehension and analysis of the text through your writing. So these are the precise skills they test you on: reading, analysis, and writing. 2 graders grade you on the scale of 1 to 4 for each of these criteria. So your final score is going to be out of 24. Before you invest your time and effort into preparing for and taking this test, make sure that your college requires it. The foolproof way to check is to read your school's admissions website. But I'm going to give you a heads up that a lot of schools have already waived the testing requirement for the class of 2025 candidate. So just check it out. Although I have never attempted the ACT, a good rule of thumb I heard is that if you relatively do well under time pressure and have a decent mathematical intuition, you're more likely to thrive in ACT. SAT subject tests are completely separate tests from the normal SAT. Usually applicants choose 2 to 3 separate tests to demonstrate their mastery in certain disciplines. These tests, I have to say, are much harder in terms of the coverage, whereas you can answer every single question in the normal SAT using only up to 10th grade material. The subject tests often ask topics in upperclassmen courses, and the hardest topics tend to overlap with AP or IB HL. Also, I would say the bar for these tests are much higher. So to add strength in your application, you need at least 700 to 750, especially if you're applying to selective colleges. I myself took math, physics, and chemistry subject tests, and while these tests are optional, they do show your strength in certain subjects that differentiates you from the other candidates. Also, some specialty schools may require a number of subject tests. That was the case for MIT in my days. I had to take 2 subject tests in sciences. So what are the best strategies to perform well in these tests? Ideally, you want to start early, but not in the sense you may expect. Solving a lot of practice problems certainly improves your test-taking skills and probably your speed, but your preparation starts much earlier. For instance, from taking challenging classes and reading lots of books to improve your comprehension. So if you're a rising freshman or a sophomore, my first recommendation would be to focus on your classes and take the most challenging classes you can handle. Also, read science journals and opinion editorials from online to improve your performance in social sciences and natural sciences passages. Also, try reading some key pieces of literature like the Jane Austens. For rising juniors and seniors, you can use Khan Academy for practice tests and drills in certain skills. Although I have to say the ideal preparation is done over a longer period of time. Now, when you use Khan Academy or any other resources, your score will improve much more in the earlier part of your preparation, and it will plateau at a certain point. When you notice that your score is not improving much after 2 to 3 takes, I would say move on and spend time on the other important part of your application, like the essays, college essays, or extracurriculars. Standardized tests are just a part of your application, and they don't make or break your application, unless your score is too low, obviously. As long as you're above a certain threshold, your application will gain more strength from elsewhere. Speaking of which, you'll see the range of scores for each school's incoming class of freshmen, and the safe score will be to aim for. The safe score would be the 50th percentile or 75th percentile for extremely selective colleges, unless you have demonstrated exceptional performance in classes or extracurricular research. I know it's tough to focus on application, especially during the pandemic, but I wish each one of you best of luck in the tests and application. Have a great summer.